Sparks Capital Improvement meeting to order at 7:31. Madam Secretary, can I get a roll call, please?
Commissioner Kramer.
Here.
Commissioner Nicolai.
Here.
Still here.
Commissioner Carlson.
Here.
Commissioner Reed. Absent. Commissioner Rodriguez.
Here.
Commissioner Berger.
Here.
Assistant City Attorney Brandon Sendall.
Here. All right, thank you. So I will open it up to public comment. I see none. I will close public comment. May I get a motion to approve this agenda? Better get in there. I'll move to
I second.
All right, we got a move by Commissioner Sperber, a second by Commissioner Kramer. Please vote. And it passes unanimously. All right, Sienna, we're on your item, right?
Thank you, Chair Rawson, members of the Capital Improvements Advisory Committee. Sienna Reed here, your planning manager, filling in for Amber Sosa on this item, which requests that the Capital Improvements Advisory Committee, or CIAC, review and provide a recommendation to council on the updated land use assumptions, capital improvements plan, and associated impact fees for Impact Fee Service Area 1. Impact Fee Service Area 1, or IFSA 1, consists of 9,186 acres located in North Sparks. It is governed by NRS 278B that outlines the process for local governments not only to initially impose impact fees, but then also to maintain those fees over time, ultimately to pay for capital improvements and facilities needed to serve new development. And state law does require that this program be reviewed every 3 years, which is why we are here today. On this slide, you can see the IFSA 1 boundary in green. It encompasses most of North Sparks and includes many of the city's planned developments, but there are a few areas that also have our regular or base zoning as well. To give you a bit of background on the use of impact fees in Sparks, go back in time a bit. Development fees for North Sparks have been contemplated since 1992. That was with the adoption of the Northern Sparks Sphere of Influence Plan. At the time, that plan had 7,200 acres, a variety of different land uses within it, and it identified that there would be an improvement cost-sharing plan with a detailed financing mechanism for fee collection established prior to plan implementation. And so ultimately, there was a financing plan that was adopted in 1994, and it was later updated in 1997. That was to remove roads from that program. That's when the RTC ultimately adopted their regional road program, given Sparks had gone out ahead, was finding success with this impact fee program, and then decided to move forward in a similar fashion. As previously mentioned, impact fee programs do need to be reviewed and potentially updated every 3 years. This requires a review and revision of land use assumptions, identifying completed and outstanding capital improvement projects, and then updating the associated project costs. And so for this update, revisions are based on development that has occurred through December 31st of 2024. And the infrastructure types included in the program include sanitary sewer, flood control, parks and recreation through our regional trails, and fire station projects. The baseline information that is used to develop the impact fee is the planned land uses in the city's comprehensive plan, with full build out that's used to estimate the future infrastructure costs and allocate those costs across each land use type. And then costs for undeveloped infrastructure are then allocated to the remaining development. Looking at the land use types in the program, there are 9 land use types that you can see on this slide. They're grouped into residential and non-residential categories to create kind of a like-for-like service unit. Non-residential development is in essence converted to an equivalent residential unit so that we can get those fees applied across the board to all service units. And in terms of the service area itself, it's defined in state law as the area within the boundaries of local government that is served and benefited by the capital improvements set forth in the capital improvement plan, or CIP. And within that service area, or IFSA 1, there are 27,084 service units at full build out. Just kind of going along the bottom of this table here. 17,588 of them have already been developed. That's 65% of the service units. That leaves a remaining amount of 9,496 service units to still be developed. So moving on to the proposed impact fees, just a quick note, impact fees are monetary charges applied only to new development. They're collected with the building permits that are submitted to the City of Sparks. They ultimately recoup or offset a proportion of public facility capital costs that are required. They're by no means a tax. And importantly, impact fees have a limited use. They can't be used for operations, maintenance, repair, alteration, or replacement of capital facilities, just their initial construction. And as I mentioned, we have 4 facility types in our capital improvement plan for IFSA 1: sanitary, sewer, flood control, regional trails, and fire stations. And so with the next few slides, we'll just go ahead and step through the proposed impact fees for each of those facilities. So for sanitary sewer facilities, all of these facilities have been constructed, and that is normal because those sewer facilities are often constructed before impact fees are collected. They need to be in place in terms of trunk infrastructure to accept sewage from new development. And so with our sanitary sewer fees, we are supporting that recoup of costs over time with the impact fees. And so you can see on this next slide, 2 tables. In the table at the bottom of the slide, you can see our current 2020 impact fees. Those are the ones that are being assessed today. And then the proposed 2024 fees are at the top of the slide. Here you will note that there's a slight increase in sewer fees due to, and that really is due to a smaller number of remaining undeveloped service units to divide the costs over. But just, very briefly, on the residential side of things, you see $231. Currently, impact fees would go up for residential to $280. So again, relatively small increase. On this slide, you can see our flood control facilities, which are predominantly constructed. It's really just the 2 areas that are shown in red that remain to be constructed in the future. And for our flood control impact fees, here the 2024 fees are proposed to go down, depending on the land use type, between a 56 and 68% decrease. Without going through each line in terms of the land uses, just want to say that we saw the cost to recoup a lot of our flood control facilities going down, and undeveloped project costs becoming more refined. So both of those factors ultimately led to the lower costs that you're seeing with the flood control impact fees. Looking next at our regional trail facilities, here existing facilities are shown in black, future facilities are shown in red, and then the facilities that were constructed between 2021 and 2024 are shown in black with a little bit of yellow halo around them. And so, as you can see, focusing in on the red, there are a variety of regional trail facilities that still remain to be constructed. And the impact fees for regional trails are only assessed across the residential service units, as these are the land uses that most benefit from these amenities. And as you'll see in terms of the proposed 2024 fees, there is a very slight 9% increase in these fees from 2020 to 2024. And that is due, again, to refined costs and possibly a little bit of inflation in these numbers. Looking last at our fire stations, there are 2 fire stations in IFSA 1. Fire 5 is already constructed, is located near Golden Eagle Regional Park. And then Fire 6 is currently under construction. It's anticipated to be complete at the end of this year. And so with the fire station impact fees, there is a substantive cost increase proposed with the 2024 fire station impact fees of about 100%. This is due to a larger cost to construct the new station than was previously estimated, and then less service units to spread that increased cost over. And then on this slide, this will look familiar from your study session. You can see each of the proposed 2024 impact fees, and then that we just went through, and then their combined total in this column. And then we have a comparison to the 2020 impact fee totals here, and then ultimately the percent change to the fees. So as you can see, when all of these fees are combined together, impact fees are proposed to increase for all land uses. There are smaller percent increases for the residential land uses, whereas the percent increase for the non-residential land uses is a bit higher. That's mainly because those fees were lower to start with, and then when the increased fee for fire station impact fees is imposed across all land uses, there's just a higher percent increase for the non-residential uses. And so to drill down just a little bit more deeply into the factors affecting the fee increases, the actual cost for Fire Station 6, it was estimated at $6.25 million in 2020. That was based on the best available data at the time. But in 2024, the cost is, or 2025, the cost is over $13 million. And then in addition, inflation has taken a toll on our community, as it has so many others. In 2020, the Engineering News record construction cost index inflation rate, that was at 2.66. It is now in 2024 at 3.9. So definitely inflation is impacting these impact fees. And just to think broadly about the impact fee program, it has really been instrumental over a number of years in funding capital improvements that are needed to serve new development. It is very much a successful program. But as we get further along in the program, you know, it is a mature program. We're not quite to build out, but we're getting there. Certainly changes in estimates can have an impact on the fees. Changes in actual costs can also have that impact. And so the units that come in later, they may be impacted in a more significant manner. And that is what we are seeing today, just because there's less development to spread those costs over. So with that, staff is recommending that the CIAC forward a recommendation of approval to City Council to adopt the revised land use assumptions, capital improvements plan, and updated impact fees for Impact Fee Service Area 1. And with that, I'll conclude and be happy to answer any questions that you may have.
All right, thanks, Sienna. Commissioners, do we have any questions for staff? Nope. All right, this is a public hearing item. Anybody from the public wish to comment on this? See none. I'm closing public comment. Commissioners, do we have anything further to discuss? I'll entertain a motion.
Chair,
Yes.
something.
Sure.
This is impact fee for police services in these fees in the early 90s when the NSSOI was identified. The department heads at the time were discussing what should be included. The chief at the time wanted to ensure they maintained the new the new police station, which is down on East Prater, which was even brand new at the time, and did not want to have substations out in North Spark. And so there was a conscious decision not to make an impact fee system for infrastructure for police. And that may be something that you get asked as planning commissioners as you approve those four that Sienna identified. Why wasn't there one for all of public safety and police? Because it was identified at that time. They wanted to maintain.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you think with growth?
It can't change necessarily, Commissioner, in the NSS, in the impact fee service area number 1, because as Sienna identified, there's 9,400 units left of the original. So it's too late in the game to add that on at the end. However, should the city expand into a new area and a new impact fee service area, number 2, potentially, were added, then that is something that you would discuss at a workshop level to see if that is something you want. The police works a little different in that they run police beats, whereas the fire station needs to be more so in proximity, less so than the building for police. But that's when it would be discussed.
I like that that's the new police station since it's been there since I was born.
I know.
At the time, yes, definitely it is new.
Still the new police station to me. I remember the old one.
Yeah. In the old.
You know.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I know where that one is.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's downtown.
All right, I'll entertain a motion.
All right, Mr. Chair, I move to forward to the Sparks City Council a recommendation of approval to adopt the revised land use assumptions, proposed capital improvements plan, and updated impact fees for impact fee service area number 1.
I second that motion.
All right, we have a move by Commissioner Pritzos, a second by Commissioner Kramer. Do we have any more discussion? All right, let's vote. All right, the motion passes unanimously. All right, thank you, Sienna. Any more announcements? Nope. Comments? Nope. All right, I'll open it up for general public comment. Anybody in the audience want to speak? I see none. I close general public comment. Any more staff comments?
Very quickly, Chair, I want to thank Sienna for presenting on this tonight. That our city engineer was prepared and had a presentation and had a family obligation, and Sienna was willing to do that. She's been integral in the drafting of those numbers that are part of that, as well as the consultant. And I thank you, Sienna, for not your willingness, but your ability to step in tonight. Thank you. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Meeting adjourned.